Hi, this is Bud Rebel from the Bud Rebel Show, and I am so pleased to announce that I'm interviewing Mr. Jack Kelly, a great actor, a love of dogs. I guess the dog's barking in the background. I love you, Jack, and a casting director, which is really interesting. I'm really interested in the whole thing. Now, Jack, I have one very serious question to ask you. This is a question
Okay.
many people are going to want you to answer right now, Jack. Are you ready?
All right.
What is worth watching on Netflix right now?
Oh my God. I have no idea. I've been doing
watching
other
a lot of pressure.
Oh man. I will confess I've had a guilty pleasure watching Ugly Betty for the last
Ugly Betty. That's a little old.
Just totally innocuous, dumb soap opera comedy from years back. It's just been that's been my go-to because in the midst of the madness of our world, I'm looking for innocuous and dumb. That's kind of what
we just saw, we're actually going to be talking about a series that I've been watching called Marianne. If you like horror.
Not so much. I mean, every now and then.
Definitely not watch it.
Right.
I'm watching it more because I watch it. The cinematography was amazing. And it's really cool. I like horror because I think, I like the jumps and the whole thing, but I find it really interesting. So might be one for you to catch, just so you know.
All right.
So you're an actor. You started out as an actor, correct? Is that with the whole background? Give me a little background, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I'm a Georgia boy. Came out to LA to go to school. Went to a graduate program, seminary actually, in Pasadena here.
Did you say seminary?
Yeah.
So this
that's how I got. Yeah, that's how I got to LA, and then ended up in entertainment.
Wow, that's a little different.
Anyway, they kind of work together. Good storytelling, good creativity. It's all gone together. I've been doing this for 20 years. So
you were going to
it's kind of
you were going to be a priest?
My dad's a pastor, or was a pastor in Atlanta, so I'm a preacher kid. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
So, yeah. Good, good Southern upbringing.
Because it's funny, you talk about before, it's such a weird economy, you might say, because LA, the whole wild scene, the whole crazy, it's not the most, let's say, religious Christian values you would think that they would say. I'm just saying, if you went to the whole thing, I'm sure that people come back to it, but it's an interesting economy. You're going to the world of sin. You might as well go to Las Vegas while you're at it. I'm just joking. But it's funny that you went in that direction.
You sound like my mother, yeah.
So how'd you get into the whole acting? Tell me from there. You were doing the
I was living in Pasadena at the time, which is where the school was. Now here I'm in Hollywood proper, West Hollywood. And I just like a 6-week old class at a community college there caught my eye. And I'd always done it, like amateur production stuff in Atlanta growing up. I was always like shooting short films and all that kind of stuff. It just never occurred to me to actually pursue it beyond that, And but yeah, I just started training, got an agent, made a couple commercials, kind of got the bug. And ended up doing there's not a lot of stage in LA, but I've did some of that, even what I could find. And it's kind of been ongoing ever since. Actually, the casting work that I do, the casting director, she casts me in about a dozen different things. They're different kind of projects. She does a lot of family and faith film kind of stuff.
Wow, good.
And so through that, I got to know Beverly Holloway is her name, and she would just bring me on as a reader. Which so the story goes, that's how I think Harrison Ford got into Star Wars or something. It's this little back door that not everybody knows about. So that if you're worth your salt as an actor and you're in the room in front of the producers all day long auditioning, and they're like, this guy is not an a-hole, why don't you just hire him? So I got cast a dozen different times like that. And then over the years, she just brought me in more, and I would learn the contracts a little bit, and just little by little, it kind of evolved into this, I call it my accidental career.
Wow,
but it's fun. I enjoy it.
It's interesting too, because you raised a very good point, because if for someone to be a preacher or a rabbi, you need a little bit of a stage presence. You can't just like
Oh,
read.
totally. It's the
And
same
so
skill set.
it isn't. It is. I mean, if you watch Joel Osteen, he's
Right.
got the smile down pat. He looks always perfect.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
there is an interesting twist that I didn't even think about till you told me about it. So
Oh, it is. It's the same skill set. It is. Yeah.
yeah, and even all the politicians, it's the same. It's funny. My son was mentioning to me, if you want to be successful, you should take business and you should take acting because both of them are the skills that you need in life. You need to be able to
Yeah.
act a lot.
You know,
A good salesman
I
knows how to
agree.
act, which is very
It's pretty
funny.
smart. It's pretty smart.
I was going to ask you. So you do casting? Is that correct? For like that you help
Yeah.
get so people come. Let's say I Joe Schmo. I come for a role and
Yeah.
I mess up my first time. I say the words wrong. I don't say it exactly right. Do I get a second chance, or do they just say
Right.
they pass you right by?
Well, it's funny, in the middle of now we've been doing this in the middle of the apocalypse, and so everything's drastically changed. Yeah, it used to be we would have digitally, so we'll get like maybe 3,000 submissions sometimes for a small role. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
And because a lot of these features, if they're doing a nationwide kind of opening it up, and so I'm one of the first gatekeepers, like that you got to get
say,
past. And but if you did back, before COVID and all this, like if you actually got in the room, that was your first victory. But yeah, if you get in there and you're, flubbing it up or whatever, like we want you to succeed, frankly. We want you to be the guy, because if you're the guy, then our job's done.
right.
And that's the professional side of it. It's like so actors that come in that are if you flub the first line, and then I've seen them like not be able to recover, which is unfortunate.
Mm. Uh-oh, you're not recovering right now. We're in a stage here. Me and I'm frozen right now. He's staged right now. Can't. You have this is a very deep point you're saying right now. We're having a little technical issue. But we're going to be with you in a moment. You're going to say something very important. Don't leave me yet. We are working on that technical issue. So maybe I'll sing a song in between. You can still hear me. Anyway, I hope.
That you're not.
Oh,
Whoop! Did I lose you?
you're back. You're back.
Okay, I'm back.
You were going to say something that was going to change world history, and I just.
Obviously.
It was that pivotal line that was going to be like, wow. And you froze again. Okay, good. Now you're not frozen.
Yes. The dark forces do not want me to say this, but this just in. Yeah.
So we were saying that.
Yeah, like it
with that first line, and they'll give you like another chance they can, but sometimes people mess it up.
Yeah, we'll totally. Yeah, of course. We'll go back. Let them try it again. Like, and it depends on the project. Sometimes, if the writing of a project, if it's Shakespeare, that's one thing. Typically, we're not working with Shakespeare. We're working with stuff that's a bit flexible. And if words don't quite fit in your mouth, like make them fit. Like just engage what the scene is about. If you can bring what the scene is about, then you're fine. We're gonna see you. We're gonna like you. And assuming that you don't accidentally look like the director's ex-wife or some other criteria that could throw you out of the mix, then we're gonna you're gonna be in consideration. That's yeah. And just professionalism too.
No, during COVID, you said most of them you got videotapes of it, of people.
Right, and I think that's what's changing.
So that's a very interesting angle, because when people have the time to do it over and over and over again, and then they give you the best copy of it. So you're getting like special effects in it. Sometimes, you don't even know.
Well, hopefully not.
Angle.
No glitter. No.
Right.
No, it's true. I would say what this has done is it's forced actors, like the onus is on them all the more, that what you submit is got to be your level 10 best. Because there's not that being in the room and flubbing and let me work with you. No, I've got thousands of people to get through that we're trying, we can't see everybody, but we do our best to. But yeah, look, if you get on and I can't hear you, if you get on, your light's not good. It's a problem, and it's nothing I can do about it. I have to go to the next person, so it's just the nature of the beast and the world we're living in. Excuse me, sorry.
I'll give you a chance to drink that water while I speak. So my question for you then is, I'm Joe Schmo. I've never been in a movie. We got a whole bunch of people. What are you drinking? Oh, he froze it. Okay. So I
Uh, no one knows. I don't.
all right, good. Sounds good. I think a commercial for them. But my question is, how does Joe Schmo stand out? If you were going to give advice to somebody who just wants the chance to break in, what's something
Yeah.
that people may not know? What's a little secrets that you could reveal to us that the casting director would say, hey,
Training, 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 training. Craft. If you've got the craft and you know what you're doing, you will get my attention instantly. Because I have the spidey sense from watching tons of these and whatever. You have about 1.3 seconds to grab my attention, basically, which is crazy. But I know that quickly. Like, you either connected, know what you're doing, and it's in your eyes, and I can see it, or you don't. And
you're not in trouble. We have a little frozen again. I guess it's going to do my little singing number until we get right back up. It's just, there you go. You're back.
Just that's kind of the brutal truth of it. Yeah. Which is if you're not in LA.
Wow. All right.
Sorry, where did I lose you?
I got past the word about LA. About LA. Okay, you're back. You're back.
There you are.
You look so different since the last saw you. There's a hair of different there. I don't know. You seem much more refreshed. I think that was just perfect. You didn't take this is like another shot to do your interview.
All right, back to one.
All right. So professional, you gotta be prepared. How about attitude? I mean, you have people that must have, let's say, some people have good attitude, and some people may not have as good attitude. And I'm wondering if that's important when you're hiring somebody in the role also, because you're around a lot in between.
It's like, I would say it's like any other business interview. You walk in, you want to be professional, you want to be personable, you want to be a little humble, frankly. I mean, you know what you're doing is important, but if you're bringing attitude into the room, you're hurting yourself.
Unless it's a job, unless it's someone who has an attitude as a role.
Well, sure, right. If that's the role, fine. But then we need to see you turn that off when you're done with the scene.
Right.
So that we know you're not going to, well, it's so that when you're on set shooting a movie, we know you're not going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Without mentioning any names, I don't want to get in trouble with any names. What were like some of the funniest experiences you had with certain individuals? Like people losing it or...
Well, yeah, I mean, one of these, it kind of broke my heart. There's a kid that he comes in, and it's one of these like crying, emotional scene kind of things. And he's got a name you would recognize, and he comes in, and he just was trying so hard to get there, or whatever that means, just to cry, to gurge up the tears and all that kind of thing. And he's like, I'm sorry, give me a minute. And he turns around as though he's like psyching himself up or whatever. We're sitting there literally 10 minutes. We're like, we got lunch. Can we help? It's like, and it just wasn't there. It's like the connection wasn't there. It just wasn't working. And I'm like, at some point, I'm sorry, we got to move on. One of the crazy ones I've had, and this was working as a reader in the auditions. I've been slapped. I've been spat at.
Wow.
I've been, it's the golden rule. You never touch the reader. You can get close to me, fine. But, we had a girl who was fresh out of college, a good school, has a good drama program there on the East Coast. And, but obviously had just not auditioned before. She's been in class, but not in real world experience, And she actually slapped me in the scene. We're like, hold on, cut. And
she was mad at you, huh?
It was insane. I'm like, who does that? Like,
you didn't use any fresh words or anything, did you? I don't know.
Beverly was running running the session. I'm just the reader on this particular one, and she stopped it. and you realize you're dealing with somebody she just doesn't know. Like she thought she was in the moment and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, look, not only you're not going to get the job, you're going to get a restraining order. Um, so we actually talked her through it. Like, this is how you do an audition. This is what you don't do. And this is what, because she had no idea.
Right.
It's going to the school that she spent God knows how much money at and had no clue how to do the business side of the business. And that's kind of sad. But we took the time. It was like, I can afford a slap. It's fine. I can get over it. She didn't meet, she's a sweet girl. And we had another guy come in who actually pulled a knife in the scene. Now it was like this long, but I'm like, dude, you're gonna get arrested. You're not gonna get a job. Are you out of your mind? Like, what part of you seriously?
It was for a clown, right? He was playing a clown, right?
Oh my God, he was playing, I don't remember what the scene was, but I'm like, so that there's that place where it's like, you realize this is acting. This isn't real. You're not actually murdering someone. Which is why mental health is important for actors as well.
And Tony, you say when people don't get the role, you've probably seen some people get a little bit more upset than others, I would say.
Mostly what I find, the vast majority, people are they're very kind. They're, easy to work with. They're not a problem. And we don't really see them because it's kind of the dark side. Like, you go and audition and then you don't hear anything for 6 months. And that's how you know you didn't get the job.
Right. Oh, they don't tell you right ahead. Yeah.
They don't really tell you. And because of the sheer numbers of people we're dealing with, we don't have time to do that, unfortunately. So
I know you're professional and everything, but
right.
Is there an actor that's so bad that you sort of like laugh a little bit?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. But admittedly, it depends on the project, because sometimes if you're sufficiently bad enough,
you get the job.
If you just own it, like if you're 100% bad, but you're like, or 200% bad, who knows? It can work depending on the project.
I do have a career in acting after all. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And now, how does it feel being on both sides? You acted, and now you're cutting people out. And
I still do both. It actually helps. It helps a lot. It helps kind of when I walk in the room to audition, there's so much less pressure because I just get it. I get how arbitrary sometimes the decisions of who gets what role can be. So it's really up to me. Just like, my question leaving the room is, did I hire myself today? It's like, I did my work. I went in, I owned it. I gave it, no apologies, dropped the mic, whatever. And the rest is out of my hands. And that's really, you have to live there or you'll drive yourself insane.
It used to be, of course, and I hope it still is, that it's all about the talents and about the project.
Hope so. It is, most of the time it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm getting a little worried with this cancel culture and trying to culture appropriations.
Yeah.
People who may not be as good in the role, you have to cast because you're trying to have a certain amount.
Yeah.
And obviously that ruins the whole art, because the art is, it's a funny story. We did a film called All Screwed Up a while ago, and I cast a person named China Lane.
Okay.
To me, I was, novice businessman. I had a director. We saw her and she just zoomed in that role. It was brilliant. We didn't look at color. We didn't look at race. She was just incredible. We knew right. Everybody else we thought about, she had it from that moment. And I think you as a cat, the people that have it, but they're saying to now you have to have this type of this or that type of person. It's sort of like rooting the film business, I think. I don't know if that's going on yet to some degree, but
it's bad art, bad storytelling. It does it. I think it hurts it across the board. I've seen, another version of that is you've got, the producers who are putting their money into this thing. Right. And it's, their daughters, their whatever, who may or may not have an acting chop at all. Sorry, I've just got somebody casting thing text me here.
Oh, wow, very exciting.
What's going on? Sorry about that.
Did you get the job?
But what?
Did you get the job?
Well, we'll see if they do. Yeah. No, I think it's not anytime you see a movie that's got an agenda, you know, um, left, right, center, doesn't matter. If it's got an agenda, that's not storytelling. And I
Mhm.
feel like this is a part of that as well. Like when we're more interested in trying to get your quotas in for what color, what, whatever, which I mean, bring it. Like I love, there's beautiful, like amazing Asian talent, black talent, whatever, like pick one, fantastic. We love to read anybody and everybody.
What
Um,
clowns?
I'm sorry.
What clowns?
Always.
Sure.
I love a good clown.
I'm scared of clowns. Okay.
Right. That's the next group. Probably will be discriminated against because of clowns. Yeah. Um,
Black
uh,
clowns. I don't see a lot of black clowns lately in the
that
movies.
is
I'm getting a
true.
little concerned about that, to be
That
honest.
is true. I've never seen an Asian clown, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
I don't know. Asian
Yeah.
black clown. Now that would be something new. We should have a movie about that one.
Quite the blend. Yeah. I mean, the dark side now, if you're like me, you're like, white guy, and it's, we're like the number of roles have shrunk. And so it should know that as hard as I work, like it's just the status that we're in as a culture for the good, bad, and ugly of it, and so that's where I'm like, if I get an audition, it's on me just to do the best job I possibly can and knock it out of the park.
Now,
The rest
also,
is out of my hands.
but now also, I would say usually tell me people who are older. When I was casting again for All Screwed Up, and I was doing a whole bunch of young ladies, it
Yeah.
was easy. There was so many, even young guys. But when it came to people like, I don't know about your age, you're probably younger than me, or whatever, it was harder. It was harder to get those people in the roles to get that. And I think that it
Yeah.
is harder, right? The middle-aged
Yeah.
people to be in the roles is actually easier to get a role in that than to be the young person. Am I correct about that generally?
I'll let you know how that works out. I'll let you know if I suddenly have an uptick. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, what you're saying is true. I think that is true. I'm hoping that's true because I'm still here, still
Right.
going after it. Right. Yeah.
Do you ever miss going back home? You ever want to go back to the old roots of, you said Georgia you were from, right, originally?
Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm there at least a couple times a year. My mom, my sister, nieces and nephews. So I'm there quite a bit. Of course, there's a lot of production in Atlanta now too. It's crazy.
Interesting.
They actually, there's more filming for movies in 2019 in Atlanta than in LA.
Because it's
LA is still
expensive, LA.
primary TV. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So the casting is still primarily done in LA, even if you're shooting in Atlanta. It's
wow.
just the way it kind of works. That may be changing a little bit, but yeah. So it's kind of funny. I moved to LA and then Hollywood kind of moved to Atlanta. So
Funny.
I'm
Now,
like, who
the question also is it's so important if you make a good project, you have a good project, you have good talent, but you don't have the name. Can you still get your
Yeah,
film out there, or do you really have to have that name that brings them in?
I think I think you can get it out there. You just have to be super creative. Um, there's I'll give you an example. There's a series that we did the casting on. It's the first of its kind. It's called The Chosen.
Mhm.
And it's a regular series, 10 episode first season, all Kickstarter funded. It broke the record for
Wow.
that. Um, and it's like, Bible story, Jesus story stuff, but it's not like you've seen before. It takes the characters around it and kind of extrapolates and creates their backstory and just makes them into real people, which is really cool.
That is
These people had no distribution particularly and got it made shooting on a farm in Texas, for heaven's sake. And crowdfunded whatever, and now it's had like 70 million views worldwide. It's insane.
that is amazing.
And it's just because they got very creative. It's all web based now. That's starting to get a little bit like some TV, but it's been out for year and a half or more. And to see it, and that's just word of mouth. That's just the quality of what they created. But it was also some creative ways to get it out there. They have their own app, and then they did it through a couple of other venues. Like you had to want to see it, which is crazy. But they're on season 2, just finishing season 2, and we're planning like 5 more seasons. So it's I love to see something like that. It's quality first, like the storytelling is just quality. Um, Plus, I think probably the content is hitting a note of just like wholesome and uplifting and that kind of thing in a world where everything else is going nuts. So people are looking for something like that. So
Audience.
I don't know, timing, I guess it might be, the timing for the story you're trying to tell. Yeah,
Jack, 5 years from now,
exactly.
Jack, where are we going to see you?
But if you can get distribution, that's definitely better.
Jack, 5 years
Where
from
are you
now,
gonna?
where are we going to see Jack Kelly?
You're gonna see me all over television, everywhere you turn,
Okay, good, good.
every
Yeah,
channel.
I
Bring it
hope
on.
I hope so, Jack. Look,
Yeah, but I'm also. No, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. No, you're talking. It keeps going in and out. I don't know what's going
Oh
on.
no, sorry.
There's a force
Uh,
that's not letting you speak to me tonight.
the other thing,
It's breaking up a lot.
like stage events, like theater.
Right. Oh, that's great.
So we'll see what happens. That's just kind of a passion project.
Well,
Yeah.
Jack, it's a pleasure
Yeah.
speaking
So
to
who
you.
knows? I'm actually talking with some people in Atlanta, and some other places.
Right. Jack, it's a pleasure speaking to you, even with the internet connection.
Nope. Go ahead.
And I want to wish you all the best. You are a very talented man. I'm excited to see your next productions in the future and see what you're involved in. You wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us tonight. God bless, my friend.